A very good morning, my beloved students. Hope all are fine. Today the topic is coordination in plants, and that's from chapter 7. Before I start, I will discuss first what we are going to know from this chapter. So today's topic, coordination in plants. These plants, they do not have any nervous system, nerves, neuron. So how they coordinate? So here we will talk about plant movement types, differences between them, the types of plant hormone, and the last, function of those hormones. I will discuss this class with the help of only few charts and diagrams, okay, so that you can easily understand. Plant movement is of two types, nastic and tropic. They can't locomote, means they can't move from one place to another. Locomotion in that way is not there as we can, but body parts can move. So that can be nastic or that can be tropic. So what is nastic? Nastic means that growth is not dependent, means on the movement types, on the stimuli. Where from the stimuli is coming, it's not in that directional way. But tropic movement is directional. It is either toward or away from that particular stimuli. So let's differentiate. Nastic movement, here growth independent movement. Tropic movement, growth dependent movement. What is the meaning of this point? Whenever there is nastic movement, there is no such growth. Okay. So it's reversible. But tropic movement once done, it's the growth dependent. There will be certain growth. For example, if we touch mimosa pudica means that touch me not plant. The plant leaves are going to be closed. So that's not something growth. Rather, that's just a response. That's nastic. But tropic movement, the plants are growing in height, in length, that's tropic. Nastic movement is very much immediate action. As already I told, the mimosa, that particular plant, touch me not plant, if you touch, that's immediate. The plants which can eat the insects, Venus flytrap you heard about. So whenever that immediate response, whenever the insect comes. But here tropic movement, the growth of root, shoot, seed, all are slow. So response to the stimulus is non-directional. It's not that only towards that particular stimuli. Rather, some response is there. It's directional, tropic movement, either away or towards the stimuli. Fourth point, reason for action, change in turgor, means turgidity, water pressure, that change. That's why nastic movement. Whereas here, tropic movement, cell division, cell elongation. So it is known as a nastic movement, and this one tropic movement. Examples are given here, that folding up leaves of touch me not plants, opening, closing of stomata, and here the phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, chemotropism. Okay, so let me explain you what is these terms. Means phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism. Okay, let's have a look. Types of tropic movement. One diagram is here, one figure. You can see sun and the sunflower. So now this plant, sunflower, that moves toward the sun, that's phototropism, movement towards light. So the stem is positively phototropic, root is negatively phototropic, but it's tropic movement. What we are getting in this diagram, you can see negative geotropism and positive geotropism. Geotropism means towards or away from the earth center, means gravity. The gravitational towards that, the positive geotropism route. Which one is negative geotropism? Yes, the shoots or the stem. What is this? Thigmotropism, another type. Thigmotropism means the stem tendrils, they are going to attach with the support. That's also help with the hormone. That's also tropic movement. So now that particular plant can climb with the help of this particular support. The stem tendrils help the plant to climb a support. That's thigmotropism, which is different from the thigmonastic, means that with that plant change. Here we are talking about only the thigmotropism. Hydrotropism, towards the water. Whenever we are keeping the water, wherever roots will move, grows towards the water. Okay, so here roots are positively hydrotropic. There is also chemotropism, chemical movement. So means this. First at the center, the phototropism. The left side above plant showing the thigmotropism. In the below, hydrotropism experiments. You have kept a plant in a pot, porous pot with some sand, soil, and there the water is kept in a small container. You can see that all the roots parts are moving towards the water. So you can demonstrate an experiment to show the roots are positively hydrotropic. Remember this point, I will ask it. Okay? At the right side above, geotropism, where positively geotropic root and negatively geotropic stem is present. Next is the flower showing the chemotropism, means the movement of the during the plant fertilization. How within the embryo, that from the sperm, means the anther, therefrom how those male cells are coming to the ovum part. Okay, formation of the pollen sac, those parts, the flower showing chemotropism. Last one, nastic movement in touch me not plant. This much you need to remember. Phytohormone, the other name of the plant hormones. These are the plant growth regulator. So plant growth regulator, this term or phytohormone term is much more scientific. What is plant hormone? These are phytohormone or plant hormone, chemical substance produced naturally for regulating one or more physical function. Point 2. These are needed in extremely low concentration, and after their action, mostly these are destroyed from the cell. These are classified, very important point, growth promoting substance and growth inhibiting substance or hormones. Growth promoting auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin. Always remember these three names. Auxin, the main growth promoting hormone. Gibberellin, for the elongation. Cytokinin, for the cell division. Growth inhibiting abscisic acid, seed dormancy. Ethylene, that one is for, particularly we know that ripening purpose, they are also needed. This ethylene hormone or for the aging. So these are the hormones. Some are growth promoting, some are growth inhibiting. Now I will discuss one by one the functions with only diagrams. Okay? Then I will ask you the questions. General plant hormones, auxin, cell elongation. Gibberellin, cell elongation plus division translated into growth. Cytokinin, cell division inhibits senescence or aging. It helps the plant to become become young, that particular capacity given by cytokinin. Abscisic acid, abscission of leaves and fruits, dormancy, induction of buds into seeds. Whenever the environment is not suitable, abscisic acid will work. Ethylene promotes senescence, epinasty, a kind of movement, and fruit ripening. So these are the main key points. Always remember, okay? Never forget these 5 hormonal names, spelling with the functions. Now one by one, detail. So a diagram. Here you can see auxin, the yellow color arrow for the bright sunlight, where auxin is more, the orange color, in the shaded side where light is less. So where sunlight more, auxin less. Where sunlight less, auxin more. So auxin is actually working away from the sunlight. As auxin is more in the away part, that part is away from the sunlight, there auxin more, so more cell elongation, and as a whole there the effect of light and auxin on the direction of growth of a plant shoot. So we can see how auxin works in opposite side of the sunlight. Is that clear? That's why in the right side the cells are more growing, more elongation, and as a whole the plant shoot is growing. Fine. Let me explain you with another diagram. This active apical bud, you can see this part growth by the auxin. Here auxin will work. It will work more away from the sunlight. As a whole, the stem will elongate. The dormant lateral bud, you can see there is no lateral growth. If we need to grow this lateral bud, then only there will be the action of cytokinin activity is to grow lateral bud. So auxin and cytokinin both are needed in a particular ratio for the elongation of the plant, for the growth of the plant. You can remember from a practical example, after certain growth, we cut the plant heads, plant tips. Why? Have you ever noticed in your garden, people are going to cut the plant heads or tip to restrict the activity of auxin and for the growth of the dormant lateral bud. It will help to decrease a bit activity of the auxin and to increase the activity of the cytokinin for the growth of the lateral buds. So auxin and cytokinin both are very important in this respect. Now, gibberellin's activity. You can see the diagram. Same flower, only the difference is the gap between those nodes. Okay, the internode parts. That means gibberellin's activity to growth between this internode part. If gibberellin is not there, now I will show you another figure. Try to remember. See, dwarf plant, normal plant. This internode growth is totally with the action of the gibberellin. Without gibberellin, the internodes can't grow. So once more, we already came to know auxin activity, that particular auxin, the most important plant hormone. So that's activity: cell division, cell enlargement, root initiation, apical dominance. Whose activity? Auxin. I'm repeating: cell division, cell enlargement, root initiation, apical dominance. Write these 4 points just beside auxin activity in your classwork copy. Also, it helps in the flowering. Now I will say regarding gibberellins activity. Write down. Function of gibberellins are elongation of stem and growth. Okay. Point 2. Reversal of dwarfism. Gibberellin induce elongation of stem. Okay. Also, it helps in the flowering and fruit formation. These are the activity of gibberellin, especially the growth of the internode. Third hormone, cytokinin. Function. Point 1, cell division. Point 2, cell enlargement. 3, breaking of apical dominance and growth of the lateral sides of the plant. Breaking of apical dominance. Note these 3 points for each of these 3 hormones, which are phytohormone, rather plant regulator also, and also most importantly these are growth promoting. Now I will move to the next part, growth inhibiting. First one, abscisic acid. What is the function of it? Whenever the environment is not favorable, means whenever the environment is unfavorable, it's not favorable, seed, they are going to decide we will not germinate. So this stomata closure and seed dormancy, function of abscisic acid. How the plants will control this movement of the stomata, means opening and closing, and that seed dormancy is by the abscisic acid. Now I will tell you a story. Whenever the plants are in a problematic condition, the seeds, they will never germinate. So what they will do? Suppose the environment is in the drought condition, no water, so they will produce more abscisic acid. Like in our body, we are having stress controller. Which hormone? Yes? Anyone? Adrenaline hormone. In stress, it relieved us, right? It is released. So that's why it's the stress control hormone. In same way, abscisic acid in stressed condition, they will never, means allow the seeds to germinate. So they will produce, the cells are going to produce more abscisic acid. Now the cells are not going to germinate. Now if rain is there, then these abscisic acid totally washed out from the seed. That time gibberellin comes and it will allow to germinate. In this way abscisic acid works. Hopefully you understood. So next, ethylene. You can see a diagram where ethylene is helping for shading part, shading phase. So ethylene is here for ripening, maturing, senescence part. Green leaves more oxygen, and then you can see how it is going to be more ethylene gases. It's a gaseous hormone, only one hormone that's in the gaseous form. So for this shading phase, ethylene is working. Main function, fruit growth. Write down point-wise, fruit growth and ripening, and also for the senescence. Fine. Epinasty, that's the movement of the plant leaves. Anyways, write down now the main points regarding ethylene and abscisic acid. For abscisic acid, point-wise, note it down. Point 1, induce seed dormancy. Point 2, in abscission, it helps induce abscission, means cutting, breaking of flowers and fruits. And 3, inhibition of growth. Next 3 points, write down in your classwork copy. Functions of ethylene. Point 1, fruit growth and ripening. Point 2, senescence. Point 3, abscission. Okay, these are the points regarding these hormonal parts. Hopefully our basic concept about the plant coordination and hormonal part clear. Here no function of the neuron, nerve tissue, right? Let's go the questions part. This is the ethylene once more, okay, and other parts, fruit ripening and flowering. So next now, What are plant hormones? Can anyone? These are the chemical messengers secreted from the particular part of the cell for some physiological activity needed in very low concentration, right? And after activity, after function, these are going to be abolished or means washed out from the cell. It can be two types: plant growth promoting hormone or inhibiting hormone. Always put example after this question. Write down the answer in your classwork copy. How is the movement of leaves of sensitive part different from the movement of a shoot towards light? What is the answer? Read carefully. Movement of leaves of the sensitive plant. So that means touch me not plant. That's a nastic or tropic movement. Yes, nastic movement. Right? That's reversible or irreversible? Reversible. That's based upon the target pressure. Whereas shoots toward light, it's irreversible. Tropic movement, it's by the hormonal influence. Okay. Next. Give an example of a plant hormone that promotes growth. You can write down any of these: auxin, gibberellin, especially auxin. Okay. All the points already you noted: auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, with 3 points each in your classwork copy. Therefore, you can answer. How do auxin promote the growth of tendril around a support? Remember that particular diagram I have shown you, that with the in which part auxin is working, towards sun or away from the sun? Away from the sun. So there, more auxin, more cell elongation. That part will bend more, help to make tendril structures around the support. Okay. In this way, auxin helping as a negatively, means it's working negatively phototropic. In that way, auxin will move away from the sunlight. There are more growth, and that will help the tendrils to support. Fine. So write down. Last. Design an experiment to demonstrate hydrotropism. You can remember in the beginning I have told I will ask you a question. There a positively hydrotropism experiment in the left side of a slide was given. Yes. A porous container with the soil, with the sand, there a plant, and another container kept with water, and roots are moving towards that. That's the experiment. So you will write down that within 7 to 8 lines regarding that particular experiment pattern. Whatever you need and what you are doing and what is your result. 3 parts. Try that. I explained here. Now your homework is to write down for each plant 3 activity as I demonstrated here, dictated here, and after that write down these 5 questions with their answers. Okay, class? We will meet in our next class. Till then, bye and have a nice day ahead. Bye.